Hi.
Hi, Stacey. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Happy Halloween.
Thank you. I like your background. You're very autumnal.
Yes, I am very well. You have tulips up there, but they're not real. But yeah.
Yeah, but also
Um,
like your flowers, your sweater, your orange phone. It's very autumnal. I appreciate the.
Thank you. Well, I that means a lot coming from a designer in some aspects. So, you've actually worked on six Sofia Coppola sets. I know a lot of people are throwing five around, but I'm gonna say the Bill Murray Christmas special counts.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I think it does too. Also, I didn't realize the Bill Murray Christmas special wasn't in the five.
yeah, you have Somewhere, the Bling Ring, the Beguiled, On the Rocks, Priscilla, and then the Christmas special.
Oh yeah,
That's it.
six.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm counting it. So you first started working with her around 2009, 2010. Talk to me about how that like working relationship has evolved until now in 2023.
I mean, I think we've evolved as people, as friends. So I think there's definitely an evolution, I guess, with our working relationship. But when I think of somewhere, which I have been for whatever reason, a lot of people have been bringing up that we've worked together a lot. And, I also know from her book, I get when I see like my lookbook from somewhere, she has that somewhere. I don't, and she put some of the photos in the book. And I think, I do it a little differently now. And like I used to always do everything physical first. Like I would like scan pictures, put them on the ground, put them together. And now I do that, but I do that after. Because all my books are digital now. So like I have
Right.
all the books digital. So I'm able to I do this like mood board on the computer. Then I print it because I love to have everything, like for us to visually look at all the time. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not even sure I'm answering this question, but
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
it's it's evolved. I feel like we've evolved, and I think the nature, like I know when she made Somewhere, she wanted to make a smaller movie, and it was very contained, and I wasn't as an experience like experienced of a costume designer as I am now, and I think like I would even venture to say like it was probably like I think at that point in my career, like I didn't know that I was able to say like I need more, or if like in order to execute this, I need this. Like I didn't, I thought if someone gives you a budget of $10 and a crew of one person, that like it's up to you to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't, but now I feel like I know better. So like I know how to ask for stuff, like to say like, no, this is what we need in order to execute that. So I don't know. I will say like I think I have evolved as a designer, and I think she was always very clear.
Well, let's talk about how clear she was. When you are uh, first discussing designing the costumes for Priscilla, what are the notes that both of you guys are throwing out in terms of like what to think about and where to pull from?
Well, so I think the big thing is that she always starts with the mood board, and her mood board is not costume specific, right? Her mood board is the mood board for the film. So I think she starts there, and that is always like that in the script is the informative nature of what she is looking for. And then the way that we've worked in the past, and like pretty much always, but in different iterations, is that she gives me the script and the mood board, and then I make costume specific mood boards and actor specific mood boards a lot of the time. Because like I remember, with certain things like with the Beguiled, for example, like the period hair and like how to adapt that into like the faces of the actors that we were working with. So I feel like then we kind of um look, I'll make the costume boards, and then we look at those, and then we talk about colors. And you know it's always a conversation. Like it always starts somewhere and then evolves and adapts as we go on.
Um, talk to me about working on a historical piece with such iconic looks. Priscilla's whole style was very, very much well documented. Did that make the costume process easier than, say, designing something for something like On the Rocks or, even the Bling Ring?
No, I think so. I think there's like a misconception about costume, right? But I think a big part of what costume is helping to develop the character. And even if Priscilla is a historical character with references that are based in his with references that are based in history, there's also a story that we're telling. That's the story that Sofia put on the page. So there's an effort to capture that, and to capture the intimacy that she shared with Elvis, and see them the way they saw each other. And I think like he saw her as an ideal, right? Like she was a doll, and she saw him not as a rock star. She saw him as like her boyfriend that's in bed with reading glasses. Yeah, well, like he saw her as his ideal woman, right? So like right. She wasn't a real person to him, but he was a real person to her, if that makes any sense. He was like, I want this.
Right.
And she was like, he's my, she saw him as like, she didn't see him as the rock star, whatever. She saw him as like a real person that was cozy in sweaters. And so I think that was an effort to capture that in the costumes.
That kind of brings up this really interesting thing that I noticed, which is there's this sizing motif in the film, right? Like she has a very much smaller, Kaylee and both also Priscilla had a much smaller stature than Jacob Elordi or Elvis did. And there's also a scene where, they're living together and she tries to, wear what she wants to wear, which is a little bit of a flowy dress, and he completely dismisses her. Was sizing and like techniques to emphasize that, was that part of your design process to show the difference and really the power dynamics between the two?
No, I mean, that's also like it's really out of like my ability. It's like, I do think it plays to the story that Philippe shot them in a way that he seems so much larger.
Right.
And, but I
didn't know if you pick certain patterns or, cut things a certain way to like make her feel smaller or not.
No, I didn't. I did cut things a certain way to make her like, there is kind of a distinct timeline in the silhouettes that kind of ages her from like those puffy skirts in the 50s right. to the pants, but I wasn't trying to make her seem smaller.
Right. Okay. Well,
one thing maybe was.
One thing that I cover a lot in my writing as a reporter is body diversity and plus size representation. And one thing that I really loved about Priscilla is that there are plus size actors in the background in period size clothing. And that doesn't seem like a big deal, and it seems like such a like throwaway right. detail, but when you're not seeing that even in the background, it is a big deal. Sure. There's that scene where Priscilla's walking down the hallway of her German high school, and I noticed there was a girl right in the background, right front and center. Do you was that like a conscious choice with the creative team, or was like, talk to me a little bit about that decision, if that happened at all?
So I think Sofia is interested in diversity in that respect. Like she does care that people feel recognized and noticed. I don't I look at the costumes on the extras, but I don't choose the extras. So right. I think that's based on her direction with
casting.
With the AD, because I think the first AD will often be the person to choose the extras. And like with the hair and makeup, for example, Cleona really was like, that guy won't do because he's bald, and people weren't bald like that. And, you know, like she had, for me, it's a little bit different because I don't know, I'm dressing the body as opposed
Right.
to like, if you don't have hair, you don't have hair.
Right. Do you, I mean, I feel like I have to ask this question, and I know it's a little bit off topic, but
Yeah.
do you feel that like body bias or fat bias in the costuming world is changing in the last, 3 to 4 years?
I certainly hope so. And I don't know, but I mean, I think it is. I think, you have a lot of different types of actresses working now, and you have people like Beanie Feldstein, who's not a size 0, and you have all different types now, and I think that's really incredible.
Awesome.
So I do think it's changing, and I hope it stays that way, because I feel like fashion shifted for a minute and then just went right back.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like referencing a lot of early 2000s stuff, and like, right now it's like, oh no.
Yeah, you're right. And I feel like that particular style of like a pant that just basically grazes your pubic bone, and a tiny top maybe is less flattering on it.
Yeah, on a larger body. Exactly. So you've done a lot of contemporary and period piece work. Is there another genre that you're just like dying to explore, another area of fashion?
I love the ballet. I love the ballet, and I would love, love, love to design a ballet. I just like the idea that like you could work with the ballerinas and like the movement of the dance, and like create because sometimes I go to the ballet. I love the ballet so much that I go all the time, and I see the costumes and they bug me, because like they'll be, very cool, but like they're cool if they're standing still. They're not cool when they're moving. Like they take away from the dance, and then I'm just like, I want to do that.
That would be, oh my gosh, I want to see you do that now. I'm like so excited. Is there like a particular ballet you want to do?
Well, I love the New York City Ballet because it's amazing. Like the choreographer is really good, Justin Peck. But I'd also be interested in the Los Angeles Ballet, because they just got a new director who came from the New York City Ballet. This woman, Melissa Barrick, and I think she's interesting. So I feel like I don't know what she's going to do yet, but I would be excited.
That would be, oh my gosh, I would love that. Do you have a favorite ballet?
I don't know what it's called, but yes, I do. There's one that Justin Peck, who is the choreographer of the New York City Ballet, did with music by Sufjan Stevens.
Sufjan Stevens.
And the costumes are really beautiful. They're not what you think. They're like leotards that are kind of color blocked, and they're amazing. But I don't know what it's called, but I loved it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. I would love to like see you do that. Awesome. Well, thank you so
You
much.
and me both.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me and talking about Priscilla. It really is such a beautiful film to watch, and I loved it so much. So thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.